Alright, today in this review, I'll be reviewing this Keychain Whippet puzzle. Now, like a few weeks ago, I was browsing eBay, and I happened to find a seller who was selling both this Whippet and this Keychain Pyramid for $3, which is $2 plus $1 shipping, which that was a really good deal because alone the pyramids are much harder to find and just much more more unique. But this Whippet is one of the older original 1980s, mid-80s version. Now, quick history of the Whippet puzzle itself. Now, the Whippet puzzle first originally came out in the early 80s, like 1981, 82, something like that, by a company called LJN. Now, LJN is a company that was founded in the early 70s and lasted until like the mid 90s, until it got bought off by another company, or got created by another company, which is still around today, but the company that it became of today produces a lot of these cheaper toys. But I've owned a bunch of those cheap toys, and a lot of them are good. But, this is one of the originals, and if you can hear, yeah, that clicking mechanism. And that's sort of the same. It has ball bearing type mechanism for clicking that sort of the similar is to what's on the pyramid Sid and cubes and all that. Yeah. When I received this, like, the day after, the morning after, during the morning after the day I received this top part with the chain and stuff came off, and that revealed a screw. So what I did was unscrewed it, took it all apart, lubed it all to make it much better. And that's how I found out that there were actual ball bearings and stuff in it. Now, what that made me thought of, hey, you know what? I could make one of these Whippet type puzzles with multiple layers by using that solution, but I would need to modify it a little bit to compensate the multiple layers and stuff like that. The turning of it, fantastic. Slides really good stuff since I looped in and stuff like that. And now, if you want to buy one of these Keychain Whippet puzzle for the original version, they're really hard to find, but you can go onto places like Lightake, Alibaba, AliExpress, many of those other places, CubeCD and places like that, and buy an equivalent version, which is this one. With this newer version has pink instead of orange, as you can see on the original version, and the newer version are just a tiny bit smaller than the original version. It still has white, green, yellow, red, blue, but instead of orange from the original, it has pink. But otherwise, these are pretty much almost identical. Yeah. But this is the ones that you can buy for like a few dollars from Lightake or someplace like that, has cheaper quality than the original, but the original is a fun puzzle. This is like a really fun, really easy puzzle because basically you're just moving it around, finding the pieces in and around. Like so. Yeah. And I'll scramble it up and solve it for you all. But before I solve it, I'll give you an idea of how it compares to like a standard 3x3 size. So that you can get an idea of it. Yeah. Alright. I think this is sufficiently scrambled enough. Now let me do a solve on it. Alright, I got this time, which is kind of bad for me because, one, I don't normally speed solve this, but really, it's one of those really fun puzzles. And if you happen to find one of these original ones on eBay, then that's at a really, like if you have to find one of these original ones, even if it's a Keychain version or not a Keychain version, but it's one of the original ones at a really good price, then go ahead and buy it because this is a really fun puzzle. But if you happen to go online and you have to get one of these newer versions have a bit of a cheaper build quality, so it's not of a higher quality compared to the older version. So the newer versions are like compared to like let's say a dollar store cube compared to a YZ cube. Like comparing those two, where the dollar store cube is much bad quality, but the YZ cube is much higher quality. It's compared to those two, but the older ones are much better. But those are harder to find. But anyway, this is a really fun puzzle.